Excelsior! That was a famous quote by Stan Lee, who's no longer with us now. He passed away last month. So and after waiting all this time, oh, I forgot to. Oh, before we get started, after waiting for so long, the Avengers 4 teaser trailer is finally released, and I'm gonna be reacting to it. But first, before we begin, let's have a moment of silence for Stan Lee, who's again is no longer with us. He passed away last month. Okay, let's get started. But before we begin, let's look back on let's look back on the Marvel Cinematic Universe the prelude the prelude to Infinity War. And I'd like to thank Civilization E. These videos I'm about to show you belong to Civilization EX. So check him out check him out or her out. Their count when you get the chance. I'm gonna 2 videos from them. This is just a warm up. But if you haven't seen the Marvel Cinematic Universe before Avengers 4, I invite you to skip ahead to stop watching this video and go back and watch all the other videos before you watch Avengers 4, this trailer and this whole video. But anyway, you've been warned. Let's get started.
Before creation itself, there existed 6 singularities of immense power. When the universe exploded into being, their remnants were forged into concentrated ingots, possibly by the cosmic entities infinity, entropy, eternity, and death. Over time, these infinity stones, representing space, mind, reality, power, soul, and time, became scattered across the universe, with only those of great strength able to wield them. Beings like the celestial Esson the Searcher, who used the Power Stone to destroy a planet. During an age of darkness, before the dawn of the 9 realms, the Dark Elves ruled unchallenged from their home planet of Svartalfheim. Yet they eventually lost their authority when other civilizations rose to prominence. Determined to once more reign supreme, Malekith, ruler of the Dark Elves, devised a plan to plunge the 9 realms into darkness using the Ether or Reality Stone, which took a fluid form that was ever-changing, able to transform matter into dark matter, seeking a host body to draw strength from their life force. Malekith planned his attack for the time of the Convergence, an event every 5,000 years in which the 9 realms aligned. However, he was soon confronted by the Asgardians following King Bor, who defeated them in battle and transported the Ether away using the Bifrost. Although Malekith and his closest followers survived the attack, going into stasis aboard a cloaked ship, the rest of the Dark Elves were destroyed, with King Bor ordering the Reality Stone hidden away in a secret location. As the early civilizations of Earth developed, the Time Stone came to be held by Agamotto, a student of the mystic arts, and the first Sorcerer Supreme, who housed the stone in an item called the Eye, so users could safely channel its power. The Eye was then protected by his followers for thousands of years, as they passed on Agamotto's knowledge of the mystic arts to new generations. During the Second World War, after years spent studying Norse mythology, German-born Johann Schmidt, a member of Hydra and high-ranking Nazi officer, arrived at a church in Norway where he found the Tesseract, a powerful bright blue cube containing the Space Stone, planning to use it to power his advanced weapons program. To stop Hydra and Schmidt, the Allies sent Steve Rogers, a man with a vibranium shield, who was made faster, stronger, and more resilient with a super soldier serum, becoming known as Captain America. Schmidt had also successfully enhanced his capabilities with an earlier version of that same serum, but it also disfigured him, turning his skin red to become Red Skull. Wiping out Hydra cells across Europe, Captain America finally found the Hydra leader aboard the Valkyrie on his way to attack America. During the confrontation, Red Skull attempted to hold the powerful Tesseract, which unknowingly activated a portal transporting him across the galaxy. The Space Stone then burned through the floor of the plane, landing in the ocean. In order to stop the Valkyrie from completing its attack, Captain America crashed the plane off the coast of Greenland, leading Howard Stark to conduct an extensive search, which did not find Steve Rogers, but did find the Tesseract, going into the custody of a government organization known as S.H.I.E.L.D. Although Steve Rogers was presumed dead, he survived frozen in ice for decades, until his body was recovered in the 21st century when he went to work for S.H.I.E.L.D. alongside other super beings and expert assassins on missions to protect humanity from dangerous threats. After Thor, son of Odin, was transported to Earth, fighting a battle against an Asgardian destroyer in the streets of New Mexico, S.H.I.E.L.D. became concerned about powerful aliens invading their planet, and so created Project Pegasus, sending Dr. Eric Selvig to the Joint Dark Energy Mission Facility to study the Tesseract, hoping to use it to create weapons for the defense of Earth. Selvig was joined by Clint Barton, also known as Hawkeye, an expert assassin who specialized in archery, assigned to protect the item. However, far from Earth, sitting on his throne, the Titan Thanos, one of the most powerful beings in the universe, learned that humans held the Tesseract, eager to get his hands on the Space Stone within. Already he had the Mind Stone in his possession and ruled over a vast army of Chitauri, but Thanos wished to collect all 6 Infinity Stones in order to enact his plan for reshaping the universe. And so he made a deal with Loki of Asgard, adopted brother of Thor, providing him a scepter powered by the Mind Stone and an army of Chitauri so he might retrieve the Tesseract and rule as King of Earth. In order to stop Loki, S.H.I.E.L.D. director Nick Fury reactivated the Avengers Initiative with the goal of assembling together a group of remarkable people to see if they could fight the battles humanity could not. This group included Captain America, as well as the billionaire tech genius Tony Stark, also known as Iron Man, who fought in a battlesuit powered by a miniaturized arc reactor. There was also Dr. Bruce Banner, a renowned biochemist and nuclear physicist, able to transform into an indestructible creature known as the Hulk, Thor, the Asgardian son of King Odin, known in Norse mythology as the god of thunder, Natasha Romanoff, an expert assassin, also known as Black Widow, and while his mind was initially controlled by Loki, Hawkeye soon regained his free will, also joining the Avengers. Although they were unable to stop the Chitauri invasion, they defended Earth in the Battle of New York, successfully closing the portal, defeating the enemy army, and capturing Loki. The scepter was then left with S.H.I.E.L.D. for study, while Loki and the Tesseract were taken back to Asgard, where the god of mischief was sentenced to an eternity of imprisonment, and the Space Stone was used to rebuild the Bifrost, destroyed in an earlier battle with Loki, in order to restore Asgard's connection to the 9 realms. 5,000 years after the last convergence, the event approached once more, and as the boundaries between realms thinned, portals to other worlds temporarily opened, one of which was discovered by Dr. Jane Foster. Walking through the invisible portal, she was transported to the hidden location of the Reality Stone, which took her as a host and threatened her life. A friend to Thor, Jane was taken to Asgard for study, where she was tracked down by Malekith and his Dark Elves, now awakened after thousands of years, and still fervent in their desire to obtain the Ether and plunge the 9 realms into darkness. During the second Dark Elf conflict, they invaded Asgard, killed Queen Frigga, took the Ether from Jane Foster, and seemed to kill Loki, though he in fact survived and went into hiding. Becoming the new host for the Ether, Malekith went to Earth, locating the center of the convergence to release his power. But he was confronted by Thor, who, with the help of Dr. Eric Selvig, defeated the Dark Elf threat. Recovering Malekith's body, the Asgardians removed the Ether and sent it for safekeeping with Tenalir Tivan, also known as the Collector, because they already had the Tesseract in Odin's vault and did not feel safe keeping 2 stones so close together. The Collector had a great museum of fauna, relics, and species of all manner in a place called Nowhere, built inside the severed head of a Celestial. However, the Collector also had an agenda of his own, wanting to collect all 6 Infinity Stones. Back on Earth, S.H.I.E.L.D., which was heavily infiltrated by Hydra agents, started using Loki's scepter to experiment with giving ordinary people superhuman powers, turning Wanda Maximoff into Scarlet Witch, able to manipulate energy with her mind, and turned her twin brother Pietro into Quicksilver, gaining super speed. Although displeased that Loki lost the scepter and failed to bring him the Tesseract, Thanos was undeterred from his quest to capture the Infinity Stones, and so made a deal with Ronan the Accuser, a radical Kree terrorist who rejected his people's peace treaty with the Nova Empire. In exchange for retrieving an object known as the Orb, which contained the Power Stone, he offered to help Ronan eradicate the Nova Empire. To aid him in his mission, Thanos sent his adopted daughters, Gamora and Nebula, both trained from childhood as master assassins. However, before their forces could reach the planet of Morag, where the orb was located, they were beaten to it by Peter Quill, also known as Star-Lord, a half-human, half-celestial, who planned to sell it to an anonymous buyer working through an intermediary called the Broker. But when the broker learned that Ronan the Accuser was seeking it, he called off the deal. As others came searching for the orb, or Star-Lord who had a bounty on his head, he encountered Gamora, who was unwilling to help Thanos commit genocide and so betrayed him, making a deal to bring the orb to the Collector. Star-Lord also met Rocket, a genetically enhanced raccoon, Groot, a sentient tree-like being, and Drax the Destroyer, a powerful warrior whose family was killed by Ronan. Eventually, Nebula took the orb and gave it to Ronan, who decided to break his deal with Thanos and take the Power Stone for himself, absorbing its energy and placing the gem inside his Warhammer. Now a rival to Thanos, Nebula betrayed her adopted father, pledging herself to Ronan, who set out to destroy the Nova Empire, but was confronted by the Guardians of the Galaxy, supported by the Ravagers and Nova military. Destroying Ronan's ship and his Warhammer, Star-Lord was able to take the Power Stone in his hand, but was quickly overwhelmed by its effects until saved by his new friends, who helped disperse the surge of energy and use its power to kill their enemy. During the battle, Groot sacrificed himself to save the others, so Rocket planted a part of him and started to grow his son, Baby Groot. The Guardians then left the Power Stone to be kept safe by the Nova Empire. After Hydra made their move against S.H.I.E.L.D., splitting the agency into two warring halves, the Avengers were called together to recapture the scepter from their scientists. However, during the final battle, Scarlet Witch, who fought to defend Hydra, used her mental powers to give Tony Stark a vision of a future in which humanity was destroyed by an alien invasion. She and her brother then let the Avengers leave unchallenged with the scepter, confident that Stark would be haunted by the vision, leading him down a path of self-destruction. Tony Stark and Bruce Banner then used the power of the scepter to create Ultron, an artificial intelligence program which unexpectedly activated and did not function as intended, coming to believe that peace could only be achieved if humanity was destroyed so that it could start over. Stark and Banner then used the Jarvis AI program to create a new being that could stand against Ultron, which Thor then powered with the Mind Stone from the scepter, creating Vision, an android of incredible strength and resilience, who could fly, shoot energy blasts, and walk through solid objects. Although they were able to defeat Ultron, Quicksilver died in the final battle, as did many innocent people, with the city of Novigrad, capital of Sokovia, destroyed. Horrified by the cost of their victory, the world worked together to write the Sokovia Accords, a document creating a set of rules and regulations for enhanced individuals, like forcing them to reveal their true identities, and those with innate powers being tracked at all times. This created a split in the Avengers, with some accepting and others rejecting the Accords. By this time, the team had grown to include James Rhodes, or War Machine, a longtime friend of Tony Stark with his own battlesuit, working early on with the Avengers. There was also Vision, Scarlet Witch, and Sam Wilson, called Falcon, a soldier and friend of Captain America, who had a flight suit which allowed him to soar through the air at incredible speeds and wore goggles that enhanced his sight. However, during the United Nations ceremony in Austria, celebrating the signing of the Accords, the Vienna International Center was bombed, killing many in attendance, including King T'Chaka of Wakanda. Although the terrorist Helmut Zemo was behind the attack, it was blamed on the deadly assassin Winter Soldier. This then further divided the Avengers, with their conflict growing to violence, as Winter Soldier was Bucky Barnes, the childhood friend of Captain America, who was thought killed in the Second World War, but was actually captured by Hydra, who enhanced his capabilities and conducted mind control experiments, turning him into a weapon for their use. Believing Winter Soldier was innocent, Captain America gathered his allies to help learn the truth, including Falcon, Hawkeye, Scarlet Witch, and Scott Lang, also known as Ant-Man, a friend of Falcon, who wore a suit that allowed him to shrink to the size of an ant, as well as grow to the size of a giant. However, those who signed the Sokovia Accords could not allow them to subvert the system, and so Iron Man led his own allies to capture them, joined by Vision, War Machine, Black Widow, and T'Challa, son of T'Chaka, who wore the mantle of Black Panther, and sought vengeance for the murder of his father. Stark also brought in outside help from New York, inviting young Peter Parker, also known as Spider-Man, who possessed great strength, speed, and resilience, able to climb walls and swing from buildings, developing these powers after being bitten by a spider. During a confrontation at a German airport, War Machine was injured, leaving his legs paralyzed, and Tony Stark soon lost other supporters like Black Widow, who was sympathetic to the other Avengers, and Black Panther when he learned that Helmut Zemo was really behind the bombing. Even after the terrorist was captured, the Avengers remained broken apart, with Captain America and his allies going into hiding, while Hawkeye retired and Winter Soldier was left with Black Panther's people in Wakanda, who possessed technology that might help him regain control of his mind. Iron Man then remained as the leader of a much smaller group of Avengers, though Captain America made it clear if Stark ever needed them, they would come to his aid. When Earth became threatened by Dormammu, ruler of the Dark Dimension, the Masters of the Mystic Arts fought against him. However, with the death of their leader, the Sorcerer Supreme called the Ancient One, the task fell to the gifted practitioner, Dr. Stephen Strange, who used the Time Stone within the Eye of Agamotto to defeat the enemy and save the planet. Taught about the power of the Infinity Stones by his friend Wong, Dr. Strange learned that while 5 of them were somewhat accounted for, little was known about the Soul Stone, which may prove to be the most dangerous of them all. Although the rest of the Avengers were occupied with events on Earth, Thor set out to re-establish peace in the 9 realms, then came into conflict with his sister Hela, who re-emerged after the death of his father Odin. With the help of Loki, a Valkyrie, and the Hulk, who he found fighting in a contest of champions on Sakaar, they were able to defeat Hela by allowing their world to be destroyed, evacuating the Asgardians to find a new home. Yet before departing, Loki took the Tesseract from Odin's vault. After suffering a number of defeats, including the failure of Loki and Ronan the Accuser, the loss of 2 of his daughters who turned against him, and the destruction of a large part of his Chitauri army, Thanos put on the Infinity Gauntlet, an item able to harness the power of all the gems at once, and set out to capture the Infinity Stones himself. He then tracked down Loki and the Asgardians who were on their way to Earth after the destruction of their homeworld, and who were in possession of the Space Stone. Do your shopping on Amazon? Then why not use the link in the description box below to either the Canadian, American, or UK Amazon sites, where you support the channel with every purchase at no extra cost to you. So if you do your shopping on Amazon anyway, why not use the link below and help support Civilization X? A special thanks to all those who contribute to Civilization X, like Sir Dayron of House Ashford, Barian the Soft Bastard Beesbury, Daedry Dragonswit, and Nate Strong the Liberator. If you would like to help Civilization X, click on the Patreon link, and please be sure to like and subscribe, and click on the links to see more.
So the job of the writer is not to supply the ideas, it is to be patient enough to find the
Now that you're all caught up, let's actually get a prelude to the let's actually get now let's do the Infinity War in short. So you can be all caught, that way you'll be all caught up with you know, with the, you know, timeline and everything. But like I said, if you haven't seen Infinity War, stop this video and go watch the video before you watch this. All right? Let's get started.
Long before Thanos ruled as a powerful warlord, he lived on his home planet of Titan, a once beautiful world that became overpopulated, straining their finite resources and leaving them on the verge of disaster. In order to save his people from their impending doom, Thanos put forth a plan to kill half of the population at random so the survivors and planet could once again thrive. However, his ideas were rejected, and so Titan fell to a great cataclysm which destroyed the land and wiped out most of the population. Thanos was forever scarred by this event, believing that had they accepted his proposal, disaster might have been averted. Convinced that eliminating half the population was the only way for the species of the universe to survive, he grew his strength, becoming the ruler of the Chitauri and Outriders, as well as creating the Black Order to serve him by adopting strong-willed children and training them as deadly warriors. With his ever-growing might, Thanos started to visit various planets which suffered from overpopulation and limited resources, forcibly enacting his plans. Though he gained a reputation as a brutal killer and merciless tyrant, Thanos claimed that it was because of his efforts that these planets went on to flourish, with those that survived now able to live long and happy lives. However, the Titan warlord knew he had to find a way to work on a larger scale, and so desired to find the Infinity Stones, 6 gems of immense power representing space, reality, mind, power, soul, and time. Using the Infinity Gauntlet forged by the dwarves of Nidavellir, he could wield all 6 at once, giving him the power to eliminate half the population of the universe with a snap of his fingers. Over time, he came to possess the Mind Stone, but soon lost it as he suffered a number of setbacks, entrusting beings like Loki of Asgard who failed him, Ronan the Accuser who betrayed him, and even his daughter Gamora who chose to lie about what she found. During these ventures, he also lost a large portion of his Chitauri army, and suffered a personal loss when 2 of his daughters turned against him. But Thanos was undeterred and decided to get the stones himself, preparing an army of Outriders who, along with the Black Order, would serve him in this final campaign. First, he captured the Power Stone held on Xandar, homeworld of the Nova Corps, decimating the population. He then tracked down his former ally Loki, who was in possession of the Space Stone, and was traveling alongside Thor and the last of the Asgardians on their way to Earth after the destruction of their homeworld. Though the Hulk, Thor, Loki, and other warriors on board did what they could to resist him, Thanos and his children defeated them all, killing half the population and capturing the Space Stone. Loki was killed, as was Heimdall, yet before he died, he used the power of the Bifrost one last time to transport the Hulk to Earth, allowing him to warn them of the looming danger. Thor was left for last, forced to watch his friends die before being tossed out into space. After being defeated in single combat by Thanos and sent back to Earth, the Hulk landed in the New York Sanctum, where he transformed back into Bruce. Back to Earth, the Hulk landed in the New York space. After being defeated in single combat by Thanos and sent back to Earth, the Hulk landed in the New York Sanctum, where he transformed back into Bruce Banner, immediately warning Doctor Strange and Wong that Thanos was coming. Although Doctor Strange held the Time Stone, they needed to secure the Mind Stone as well, and so approached Tony Stark, hoping he could lead them to Vision, only to learn that he had recently disappeared. In order to locate him, Stark considered calling Steve Rogers to ask for assistance, yet he was soon interrupted by Ebony Maw and Cull Obsidian, who landed near the Sanctum seeking the Time Stone. The children of Thanos were then confronted by Doctor Strange and Wong, as well as Tony Stark, who became Iron Man, and Spider-Man, who was close by, arriving to help. Unfortunately, Bruce Banner was unable to join the fight, as the Hulk refused the transformation. Although able to neutralize Cull Obsidian, sending him through a portal, Ebony Maw proved too powerful, capturing Doctor Strange and departing aboard his ship. Though he wished only to take the Time Stone, it was held within the Eye of Agamotto, protected by a powerful spell he could not break. However, both Tony Stark and Peter Parker, wearing a new Iron Spider suit, were able to stow away aboard the ship, working together to space Ebony Maw, rescuing the Doctor. They then continued onto Titan, searching for Thanos to stop him from acquiring more stones. Back on Earth, Wong departed to protect the Sanctum, while Bruce Banner called Steve Rogers and informed him of the situation. Captain America, Black Widow, and Falcon then tracked down their ally Scarlet Witch, who was in Scotland meeting with Vision. Fortunately, they arrived just in time to battle Proxima Midnight and Corvus Glaive, who were sent for the Mind Stone. Defeated, the Black Order returned to their ship, and the former Avengers decided to take Vision to Wakanda, where it might be possible to remove the stone without his death. While Earth's heroes prepared to deal with the coming invasion, far off in space, the Guardians of the Galaxy found Thor's body while responding to a distress call, rescuing him and learning that Thanos was on the hunt for the stones. Determining that he would next be traveling to nowhere for the Reality Stone, they split into two groups, with Thor, Rocket, and Groot traveling to Nidavellir, where they might forge a new weapon to replace Mjolnir, while Star-Lord, Gamora, Drax, and Mantis went to find the Collector and protect the Reality Stone. When Thor and his companions arrived on Nidavellir, they encountered Eitri, ruler of the dwarves, who was forced to watch Thanos massacre his people before cutting off the king's hands. Thor urged him to help forge a weapon that might defeat the enemy who had done this to his people, and so the king agreed and crafted a new hammer called Stormbreaker, made from the heart of a dying star. Arriving on Nowhere, Gamora and her crew were too late to stop Thanos, who had already taken the Reality Stone, using its power to create an illusion that helped capture Gamora. Although Star-Lord had promised to kill her if necessary to protect the knowledge she held concerning the location of the Soul Stone, Thanos used his powers to neutralize the weapon and teleport away. Back on his ship, Thanos revealed that he had captured Nebula and tortured her until Gamora gave up the Soul Stone's location. They then traveled to the planet Vormir, where they met Red Skull, who had been transported to this place after holding the Space Stone, and now served as a guide for those seeking the Soul Stone's power. Unfortunately for Thanos, in order to get what he wanted, he had to sacrifice that which he loved above all else, his daughter Gamora, throwing her over a cliff and receiving the Soul Stone in return. Though nothing would stop him from completing his mission, this was a sacrifice that truly caused him deep pain. While exploring Titan, Iron Man's team encountered Star-Lord, Drax, and Mantis, deciding to work together to stop Thanos, while learning that Doctor Strange had used the Time Stone to see 14 million possible futures, concluding that only in one scenario were they able to defeat the Dark Lord. Thanos then arrived, searching for the fifth stone, and engaged in a battle against Iron Man, Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, Star-Lord, Drax the Destroyer, Mantis, and Nebula, who soon joined them. Combining their strength, they were nearly able to defeat the enemy, as Mantis placed him in a trance which weakened him enough that they might remove the gauntlet from his hand. But when Star-Lord learned that Thanos sacrificed Gamora for the Soul Stone, he was unable to control his fury, attacking the Titan which broke the hold over his mind, allowing him to recover his strength. Victorious, Thanos then threatened to kill Iron Man until Doctor Strange agreed to give up the Time Stone in exchange for sparing his life. With the fifth stone in his possession, Thanos departed for Earth. Although Doctor Strange was sworn to protect the stone at all costs, he soon told Tony that giving it up was the only way, possibly referring to the one scenario in which they might prove victorious in the end. The final battle for the Mind Stone would then take place in Wakanda, where the Black Order and Outriders attacked, while the Wakandan army, led by Black Panther, defended their position, supported by the remaining Avengers, including Captain America, Black Widow, Falcon, War Machine, Winter Soldier, Scarlet Witch, and Bruce Banner, wearing Hulkbuster armor since he was still unable to transform. Unfortunately, Hawkeye and Ant-Man were unavailable as they had taken deals with the government to relocate with their families. Thor, Rocket, and Groot then joined the fight, with Stormbreaker proving a powerful weapon even against Thanos, who soon arrived. Yet they ultimately failed to give Black Panther's sister enough time to save Vision, forcing Scarlet Witch to destroy the man she loved in order to prevent Thanos from getting the final stone. However, the Dark Lord then simply used the Time Stone to reverse what she'd done and ripped the Mind Stone from Vision's head. Although the Avengers kept fighting, Thanos now held all 6 Infinity Stones, and with a snap of his fingers, completed his mission, eliminating half of the universe's population, which suddenly vanished into black ash. Those who were called included Winter Soldier, Falcon, Black Panther, Scarlet Witch, Groot, Star-Lord, Drax, Mantis, Doctor Strange, and Spider-Man, while Iron Man survived, alongside Captain America, Bruce Banner, Thor, Rocket, War Machine, Black Widow, and Nebula. As the battle raged in Wakanda, Maria Hill and Nick Fury were in New York, looking into what was happening, but soon both became victims of Thanos, disappearing into black ash. However, moments before vanishing, Nick Fury was able to reach for a pager and send an emergency message to another superhero named Captain Marvel in the hopes she might aid humanity against this new threat. After the battle, Thanos was transported to an unknown location where he met with his daughter Gamora as a child, discussing all that he had lost to complete his mission. Yet in the end, he was successful, believing that he had ensured a future of peace and prosperity for those who remained. And so with his life's work complete, he sat in silence and watched the sun rise. Do your shopping on Amazon? Then why not use the link in the description box below to either the Canadian, American, or UK Amazon sites, where you support the channel with every purchase at no extra cost to you. So if you do your shopping on Amazon anyway, why not use the link below and help support Civilization X? A special thanks to all those who contribute to Civilization X, like Sir Pagelot the Death Dealer, Amethyst Honeywine, and Lord Terax Zoron, Master of Terror. If you would like to help Civilization X, click on the Patreon link, and please be sure to like and subscribe, and click on the links to see more.
So wow. So basically, this is what it is. It's Thanos doing the wrong thing for the right reason, if you know what I mean. Normally, some people would agree with that, but if there were no emotions like love, happiness, and all that would just do is bring pain, since that would just make some of those loved ones just vanish, and just bring sadness. But you be the judge. And sorry about what I had to do earlier. I had to get rid of a little notification I had. But anyway, this is it. Time to react to the trailer. Here we go. Counting down. 10. Hold on. 10. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. 0. It's showtime! Is that Vision? No, it's Iron Man.
This thing on? Hey, Miss Potts. If you find this recording, don't feel bad about this. Part of the journey is the end. Just for the record, being adrift in space with zero promise of rescue is more fun than it sounds.
Oh, I think
Food and water ran out 4 days ago. Oxygen will run out tomorrow morning. That'll be it. When I drift off, I will dream about you. It's always you.
He was one of the lucky ones that didn't disappear along with half the universe. Marvel Studios. 10. Black Panther.
Thanos did exactly what he said he was going to do. He wiped out 50% of all living creatures.
Scott Lang's out
We
there.
lost. All of us. We lost friends. We lost family. We lost a part of ourselves. This is the fight of our lives.
This is going to work, Steve.
I know it is.
Black Widow, Steve.
Because I don't know what I'm going to do if it doesn't.
Agreed. Avengers! Endgame! Marvel Studios.
Hi, is anyone home? This is Scott Lang. We met a few years ago at the airport in Germany. Got really big.
Is this an old message?
Ant-Man, I know you know that.
It's the front door.
That's me. Can you buzz me in?
How'd he get out? April. Oh, sorry. Okay, first off, how does Scott Lang get out? If we last remember, there was no one at the controls to bring him out. But they were right about one thing. Like I said before, all Thanos did was he did help save the universe, but all that did was result in pain and suffering for everyone else, and now probably they want revenge. Like in the comics, it was reversed. Let's hope it can be reversed. With Gamora, I think it's Gamora. Gamora dead. How's she gonna do that with the other daughter do it or no? But anyway, I can't wait. Oh, sorry about that. I don't know why I'm good like this. Anyway, thanks for watching this video. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Leave a comment down below. Oh, and if you share this video with one person or a lot of, if you do one of them or manage to do them all, I really appreciate it. But until then, remember, Avengers, assemble! Let's take down Thanos and save the universe. Excelsior!